Hello and welcome back to Setup Phase, and welcome back to Ulos. Today we will be continuing our journey through role-player adventures with the side quest Deathmatch at the Colosseum of Ashes. I have set up most of the game. We have the map with 1 XP on each location. We have 1 more gold left from the previous adventure. There are no backstories in the side quest, and we have a bit of setup more to do. We need to examine the chart below and reveal a modifier card based on how many adventures your party has completed, as shown on the campaign track of the party journal. We have completed 5 adventures, so we will have the modifier Luminary, which tells us that all skill checks are difficulty 2. And let's place it in the active zone of the party journal. Whenever attempting a skill check during this adventure, this modifier card determines which difficulty to use. We also have the arena track, and we will see how this works soon. We will need to place either a stamina or XP cubes on it, and we need to do those 6 encounters. In this adventure, you will find special actions or choice indicator roll for an encounter in the storybook or tome of encounters. When rolling for an encounter, we need to follow these steps. Turn to the encounters chart on the first page of the Deathmatch of the Colosseum of Ashes section in the tome of encounters. The encounter chart can also be found in the back of this adventure book for reference. We roll a die from the dice pack. We examine the chart to find which encounter the party will face. The result of the die indicates which row to examine, while the column is determined by how many markers are currently on the arena track. We find the encounter listed in the space at the intersection of the indicated row and column, and mark it if you choose or not. If the indicated encounter is already marked, re-roll the die until you find an unmarked encounter. If an entire column is marked, erase all marks in that column before rolling. This won't happen because we will have 1 encounter for each column, and since it's the first time we play the side quest, none of them will be marked. We return the die to the dice pack and find the encounter in the tome of encounters and resolve it as normal. If you have the title Free Gladiator, we do not. It happened in an instant. The crickets stopped chirping. A bird in the sky above you locks its wings, now frozen mid-flight. The bodies of the people around you stiffen, their eyes fixed and unmoving. Even the wind has stilled. In the air in front of you, a red speck appears. At first, you think it's only the strain of your eyes, but the dot quickly expands, forming a rift. Beyond the portal, thousands of onlookers cheer in what appears to be an enormous Colosseum. An irresistible force pulls you through to the other side. The ground beneath you has the texture of sand, but it is the color of black ash. Twin suns chart a parallel course above you across the blood-red sky. Thousands in audience surrounding you applaud your arrival as the rift snaps shut behind you. Place party marker at location A and read entry A. If there are 6 tokens on the arena track, which will be this one here, but there are none. If there's no XP at this location, there is. We get to collect the XP at this location and continue reading. A wounded gladiator lies flat on her back. When her labored breathing comes to an end, her flesh dissolves into glittering black ash. The only piece of her that remains is a thin metal collar. Glowing faintly, the collar slides towards you through the ash. It leaps into the air and snaps around your neck. Reveal Discovery Card 80, which is the control collar. It doesn't require any stamina to use. Each player places all skills from your hand underneath the control collar card. Let's find all the skills. And we have a total of 5 skills, which we place underneath the control collar. Emitting a soft light, the collar forms a flickering image in front of you that resembles the immortal knight, defender of Nalos. You hear a voice, but the knight's lips are not moving. The sound comes from your collar. Congratulations, the image announces. The Grandmaster of Games has selected you to be the next gladiator in her Colosseum. My job is to test your prowess. Training module sequence 1 will now begin. Special combat, we need to follow the normal combat rules and check after the first round the conditions below. We will be fighting the Immortal Knight. The Immortal Knight requires a lot of colors to complete, and at the beginning of each round we will lose 1 stamina from the attribute rows, which I need to still fill. And let's begin the combat. Considering we have quite a few colors that we need, let's just draw them randomly and see what we get. Our combat dice limit is 7. This means that we will draw 7 dice and then roll them. 4, 7. And let's see what we can place. We can place this 2 purple, this 5 white, and that's about it. Let's try to manipulate the dice. Our combat limit is 4, which means we can play 4 cards, and we have 2 bonus play limits. Let's first use the runic pendant in order to turn the 4 into a 3, and we can place it. We can play the ancient tome to decrease the purple by 1. And let's place it. We can play 2 more cards. Let's use the onyx cube to turn any color into a 5. And let's turn this blue, green. And then play foolish to turn this green, maybe not that way. Let's do it the other way. Let's play foolish to turn any color into a blue, and I will turn this purple 2 into a blue. And then I can play the ancestral blade in order to increase it by 1 and place it. With this we have played 5 cards and we end the turn. We have neither victory or defeat at the end of the turn. The Immortal Knight image stutters and your sword slices right through. It flickers back into place as your caller speaks again. Insufficient data. Training module sequence 2 will now begin. You pause to collect yourself before the fight renews. Each player return all trait cards from your discard pile to your hand, and we continue the combat. We have 1 trait, Foolish, which I can return. We also move the round tracker, which loses us 1 stamina from an attribute row. Let's lose it from strength because we have 6. And we take 3, 4, 5 damage. And we go into the next round. Let's return the dice. And we only need black and blues. With this, let's spend 1 intelligence and 1 dexterity for 1 black and 1 blue. And the remaining 5 randomly. And roll them. And let's see what we have. We can place nothing. We can play the mace to reduce a red die by 1 or 2. And let's reduce this familiar die, which is also a black and a red, by 1 to a 5 and then place it. We can use Relentless to turn red into any color, and let's turn the 3 red into a 3 black. And we only need a black or blue 5. And we can do that by playing the Onyx Cube in order to turn any color into a 5. And let's turn this black into a 5 and place it. With this, we have completed the combat. Let's return out the dice. And we get 2 gold and 2 for 5 XP. You attack the immortal knight over and over, but your blows pass through his transparent form. Meanwhile, each time he hits you, you feel a powerful shock from your color. As you fight, you hear applause and even a few cheers from the stands. It seems you are making a good impression, and the knight's movements help you hone some of your skills. You lock arms and roll him to the ground, pinning him to the ash in a few quick moves. Reveal rare card 3, which is a skill that we can use. Grapple, increase or decrease a die of your class color by 1 or 2, in our case red. Let's return the cards and the discarded cards. The knight's image flickers and is replaced with a strange figure. Ruby and emerald studs surround her eyes as if they had been sewn into her purple skin. Her black lips are cracked and her voice is somewhat powerful enough to fill the entire arena. "Welcome to the Colosseum of Ashes," she says. "I am the Grandmaster of Games." The statement is agreed with cheers from the crowd. "After 5 more challenges, you will be returned to your own plane," she explains. "We offer you a chance to earn interplanar glory. When you are ready, summon your first challenger and show us what the best of Ulos can do." Place an XP on the arena track from the supply. And next we need to roll for the encounter. As we seen before, we take 1 die, we roll it and compare it to the chart. We have 1 token on the arena track and we have rolled a 5, which means we will do Red Delicious. A rift opens up and a group of trees shuffle into the Colosseum. They have gnarled, angry faces. As soon as they see you, they pluck fruit from their branches and lob them across the arena. You catch one aimed at your head. It is a plump and shiny apple. Record the keyword fruit. We can bite into it, which is a fight, or throw it back, which is another fight. Let's throw it back. You lob the apple back and it hits one of the tree folk with a harmless thud. They throw apples as they continue their slow march forward. You worry that if something interesting doesn't happen soon, the Grandmaster will activate your control color, so you meet the tree folk halfway and begin your attack. We have a combat with a gang of 3 folk. Here are the 3 folks and the gang of modifier, which I think we have seen before a few times. During the first round of this encounter, reduce the dice limit by 1. Let's spend 1 dexterity for a black and draw the remaining randomly. Our dice limit is 7, but it's reduced by 1 to a total of 6. And let's roll it and see what we can do. We already have a 6 red, and that's about it. As before, we can play 4 cards. We can play Famous to turn a purple into any color, and let's turn it into a green because it does 3 damage. Let's use the Ancient Tome to turn the purple down to a 3. And then Foolish to turn the 3 into a blue. And we can place it. We have played 3 cards. For the 4th one, let's use Restore to add a die and set it to 2. The die is random. And it's a blue. And using 1 bonus play limit, we can play Friendly to turn any 2 into any color, And let's turn this one into a black. With this, we have completed the first round. We move the round marker. We lose 1 XP. And take 1 stamina damage. Let's return the dice. And let's draw the 7 dice randomly. The gang-off is no longer in effect because we are in the second round of the combat. And we can play our longsword to increase the green die to a 3 and place it. With this, we have completed the combat. We return the discarded cards and the dice. We get 3 XP. You manage to cut the tree folk down to size, 1 limb at a time. Without their branches, they no longer pose much of a threat. The most they can do is bump into you with their trunks or spit on you. With the tree folk incapacitated, the Grandmaster announces an end to the match. Place an XP on the arena track from the supply. We can now roll for another encounter or move to another location. Let's first go to the gladiator dormitory. If you have the keyword Alizar, return. No, we don't have the title free gladiator. There is an XP. We collect it. There are not enough bunk beds for the number of gladiators packed into this room. A purple-skinned man in the far corner also attracts your attention. He introduces himself as Alizar. You soon learn that he is the Grandmaster's younger brother, but the two are not on good terms. She could free me if she wanted to, he explains, but she won't. Says I have to earn it, but I'm her brother. That has to count for something. His eyes light up as if an idea has just occurred to him. My sister refuses to see me, he explains, but if you do well in the games, she will invite you to visit her in her private viewing area. There is a chest on her desk that opens to the whispered phrase Okbu Dorek. If you can open it, the chest is full of information that could be useful in the arena. By the way, he adds, I can help you train if you'd like. Record the keyword phrase. Shuffle the skill deck and reveal 2 cards. Place them face up next to the adventure map to create a market. And let's see what we have. We have disarm trap and diplomacy. They are reduced by intelligence and dexterity, which is 2 in both cases. This means that they both cost 6. We only have 3 gold. If you have the keyword claw, we do not. We can buy a skill from Alizar, but we don't have enough money. We can use an item rest or move to another location. Let's use the item and let's use the control color. When you touch the control color, a stream of light is projected into the gladiator's door, and an image of the immortal knight appears. Careful, Alizar warns. If you mess with that control color, you're liable to get hurt. Something seems to go wrong with the projected image of the immortal knight. At first, it flickers in and out of existence, but then the immortal knight's form appears to change. In rapid succession, he cycles through a variety of bodies. A female orc, a male elf, and many others. The only thing that remains constant is the bright red armor. Eventually, your control color flickers off and the image of the immortal knight disappears. Alizar laughs. Looks like you got an old color, he says. Something must have gone wrong with the wiring. We can rest or move to another location. I don't think there's a need to rest. We have 29 health and we have taken only 10 damage. Let's go back to the arena. If there are 6 tokens on the arena track, no. If you have the keyword challenger, no. The audience cheers. Somehow they know your name, and a few begin to chant it. They are eager to see you face your next challenger. And let's roll for the encounter. We roll the 3, and we have 2 tokens on the arena track. This means we have scrap. A brisk wind sweeps through the Colosseum and whips the black ash into the air like a sandstorm. As the ashes shift, piles of buried scrap metal resurface. You notice something metallic moving beneath you, a construct hand severed at the wrist, pulling itself across the arena. A moment later, it unites with a metallic arm and snaps into place. Glancing around, you see other body parts slowly converging. A giant construct torso with a single attached arm scours the ashes for the rest of its body. In another corner, the torso and arms of a construct woman is assembling a bottom half for herself that resembles an iron spider. To create their new bodies, they seem to be using whatever spare parts they can find. If you hurry, you might be able to defeat one of those challengers before they even have a chance to pull themselves together. We can prevent the giant from assembling, or we can prevent the spider from assembling. Let's prevent the spider from assembling. Smashing the construct's head and torso, you manage to kill her before she is able to secure her legs. From behind you, the construct giant charges towards you through the arena. Unable to find its own head, he has secured a much smaller one. The tiny construct head looks comical, out of place on such an enormous body. We have a fight with a gigantic construct. The gigantic trait modifier adds more dice that we need to place. Our combat limit is 7. I would like to fill this gigantic dice because they do a lot of damage. Let's take a white, and we do not have another black. Let's keep it at a white and maybe a red. And the remaining 5 randomly. The last die on the construct, it's any number, but it needs to be a blue. And roll them. And let's see what we can do. We can place the 4, which prevents us 5 damage. We might be able to place the 5, but let's see if there's anything else that we need to do. Let's check. Let's start with grapple. Decrease or increase a die of your class color by 1 or 2. We will decrease it by 2 and place it. Our class color is red. Maybe let's do it in another way. Let's increase this one by 1 and place it. This way we can use the Blessed Mace to decrease the red by 2, to make it a 2. And for the third card, we can use Relentless to turn this red into a black. Let's use Famous for the fourth card to turn the purple into any color and make it a blue. And then place the 5 black in its place. And I think we are done. We move on to the next round. We take 2 damage from the round marker and 1 from the uncovered die slot for a total of 3. Let's return the unused dice and draw the 7 randomly. And let's roll them. We only need a white 2 and any blue. And the blue would be easy with Foolish. Let's play it and turn this 5 into a 4 into a blue. And then Steadfast to turn any color into a white. and it doesn't matter. Let's turn any two into a white. With this, we completed the combat. Let's return the discarded cards. We return the dice. We gain the benefits, which is 1, 2, 3 gold and 2 XP. With a final blow, the construct gladiator's head is knocked across the arena. The rest of his body searches for it frantically, but the head is cracked to reveal spinning gears. As those gears grind to a halt, the body stiffens, gradually becoming frozen in place. The crowd cheers, and the Grandmaster records your victory. Place an XP on the arena track from the supply. We can do another combat or move to another location. We now have 6 gold. We could buy one of the skills. Let's see what we had before. Okay, so we only had a green manipulation. We have quite a lot of ways to manipulate the red and the blue, well, the red at least. Let's move back to the gladiator dormitories. We don't have the keyword claw. You find several rows of bunk beds here, and gladiators from at least a dozen different planes of existence. Some rest, while others pace back and forth, anxiously awaiting their next fight. Alizar, the Grandmaster's brother, stares up at you from his bunk. If you'd like, he says, I can teach you a thing or two that might help you in the arena. Which is exactly what we want. We want to buy a skill from Alizar. Let's spend 6 to buy the disarm trap. Again, it costs 8 minus the dexterity, which is 2 for us. We take the skill and add it to our hand. We can use an item, rest, or move to another location. Let's rest. We place 1 stamina on the rest track. Let's spend 2 XP. We roll 2 dice. And we heal that amount, which is 11. 5, 10, 11. We refill the attribute rows. We return the bonus play limit and the spend cards. And now let's move to the grandstand. If there's no XP at this location, there is, otherwise collect the XP. Thousands of audience members fill the tiered rows of the amphitheater. You notice a poster bearing the image of a man in all black wearing red and white makeup. The Great Calso, the poster reads, and in smaller print it lists the days and times of his appearance. You discover the very same entertainer making his way through the crowd. A large group of children follow him through the aisles and laugh as he plays tricks on members of the audience. You notice that Calso is wearing a necklace bearing King Terran's family crest. If you have the keyword iron, we do not. The crowd cheers as 2 new gladiators enter the arena. One is an enormous minotaur, twice the height of the other combatant, an elf. The elvish fighter, a member of the audience explains to you, goes by the name of Hans Pasha. He has so far won 3 matches, but is not expected to survive his 4th. You sit down to observe the fight. The elvish gladiator manages a surprise upset, and the crowd goes wild with excitement. Afterwards, you notice money changing hands. It appears to be customary for audience members to bet amongst themselves on the result of the game. We don't have ordered keyword, neither comedian children, but we do have fruit. A purple-skinned man sells apples from a small basket tied to his waist. When he sees you, he tosses you a few of his fruit. For the gladiator who battled the trees, I'm glad to see you branching out, he shouts, and the crowd around him laughs. You find his joke unfunny, but his apples are crisp and sweet. We erase the keyword fruit. Let's just cut it out. All players return 3 stamina from your fatigue box to the supply. If your king's favor is your highest favor, you can ask Calso about the necklace. It is, so let's ask him. If you have the keyword study, we do not. Calso smiles and clutches the necklace in his hand. I'm not related to King Taran by blood, he admits, but he always treated me as a member of his family. I was a performer at his court, but my true role was to spy on the nobles I entertained. That is my purpose here as well. Calso discreetly passes you a slim volume bound in leather. It bears the title, The Immortal Knight's Journey. I believe the information it contains might be put to better use if the book were in your hands. The clown says. You page through the thin volume. It details a number of incredible adventures and heroic feats performed by the immortal Knight of Nalas, including his most recent quest to travel through the rifts to collect artifacts of great power, a journey which led him to the Colosseum of Ashes. The short volume contains a great deal of information, and your mind is racing from all the things you have learned. Record the keyword study. Each player increase your intelligence attribute score by 1. This gives us 3 intelligence. We can bet gold on the next match. We don't have any gold. Use an item rest or move to another location. Let's use our color. You target your control color. When you do, a stream of light projects onto the empty seats in front of you, and with it an image of the immortal knight appears. Something goes wrong. Your control color begins to make a series of mechanical scratch noises, and the immortal knight's image flickers in and out of existence. Finally, the image seems to reset. Congratulations, the voice from your color announces. The Grandmaster of Games has selected you to be the next gladiator in our Colosseum. My job is to introduce you the rules of the arena. The ghostly image of the immortal knight swings his sword, cutting into your shoulder. With a burst of light, his image vanishes again, and your control color seems to shut down. Each player adds 2 stamina to their fatigue box from the supply. Well, it's good we healed 3. If the entire party is exhausted, we are not. As we said, we cannot bet any gold. We don't need to rest. Let's move to another location and let's go back to the arena. And here the only thing that we can do is to roll for the encounter. And it's a 3. We have 3 tokens on the arena track, and our encounter is endless supply. A rift opens and a lump of grass about the size of a small dog rolls into the arena. When a mouth emerges from this strange creature, it begins to happily munch on the black ash. Satiated, it shivers violently, and within a few seconds, a second bow pops out of the first. It too reveals a mouth and begins to feast on the ashes. Within a very short amount of time, there are over a dozen of these ash-eating grasslings covering the arena. The dimensional rift, for some reason, has not yet closed. Kill them all before it's too late, which is a fight, or we can herd them back through the rift, a strength and dexterity check. Let's try to herd them back through the rift. You attempt to coax the creature back into the rift, but they do not seem to want to comply. We have a skill check, force. And because of our luminary trait, all skill checks are difficulty 2, which means we will need to roll 6 dice first. Let's spend 1 dexterity for a black die, and then maybe 2 strength for 2 red dice, and get the other 3 randomly. Let's roll them. And we have a 6, we have a 2, And that's about it. Let's see what we can do. We need 2 4s and a 3. This was a 6. Let's add the familiar die. And we need to roll it into a 4, which is perfect. We will see which of the 4s we need. We have played 1 card. We can use the longbow to increase a blue die by 1 or 2, and let's increase it to a 3. And then let's use weak for the 3rd card to turn it into a red. Well, I think we committed that we will add it here. Let's use our ability, which allows us to return all weapon cards from the discard space and the spend space to our hand. And we will return the longbow and play it again for the 4th card play to turn this for the 6 into a 4. And then play Steadfast to turn any color into a red. With this, we completed the challenge. Let's return the dice. We get 2 XP. And we return the discarded cards. Somehow you manage to get all the grasslings back to their own dimension before the rift snaps shut. Sweating and exhausted, you take a seat in the arena. Something squishy lets out an ear-piercing shriek beneath you. You lift your leg to uncover a grassling buried in the ashes. You grab hold of it. As you consider crushing it, the creature purrs and you can't help but feel a twinge of pain. You wait for a moment for a new bowl of grass to spawn from the one you hold in your hand. When none does, you decide it is safe to keep the creature as a pet. As long as it does not begin to rapidly multiply, it seems harmless enough. What's the worst that could happen? Record the keyword grassling. We place an XP on the arena track from the supply, and we can do another encounter or move to another place. Let's move to D again, to the grandstand, and see if there's something we can do with this new keyword. We don't have iron. Thousands of audience members are sitting in tiered rows encircling the Colosseum. The great Calso is here entertaining the crowd. You notice that Calso is wearing a necklace bearing King Theron's family crest. Near the arena's entrance is a poster bearing his name and likeness along with the days and times of his performance. 2 new combatants enter the arena and you sit down to observe the match. We needed order, comedian, children, fruit, and ash, which we have none of them. Considering this, let's move to the training arena. If you have the title champion of the Colosseum, no. If you have the keyword defeated, no. If you have the title Gashorak's challenge, no. No XP at this location, there is. Collect the XP. You enter an enclosed space that resembles a small indoor arena. A green-skinned woman with a tentacle mane and needles covering her body is arguing with a kobold warrior dressed in full armor. She wraps one hand around the kobold's neck and slams him against the wall. As she does so, you notice a small pouch of gold drop unnoticed from the kobold's pocket onto the floor. The flesh around the woman's neck expands and collapses as her anger at her opponent rises. Intervene to save the kobold warrior. Grab the gold while no one is looking. I think kobolds are Dragul, so we don't care. Let's grab the gold while no one is looking. Gain 2 gold. You grab the pouch of gold and stuff it into your satchel. Only the strange blowfish woman seems to have noticed the tap. She suddenly loses interest in the kobold, allowing him to drop to the floor. You, she says, and then presses a sharp claw into your chest. I'm Gushrak, champion of the Colosseum of Ashes. You could make a worthy challenger. Get some wins and we'll talk. If you can't beat me, you'll beat a new champion. Gushrak chuckles at the thought and turns to her training. The kobold warrior approaches you. I am Armaundra, he says. You would be wise not to accept the challenge. Goshrak has killed more gladiators in the arena than any other champion in the history of the Colosseum. You notice that Amon-Ra has a small tattoo of a battle horn on his neck. If you have the title Hunted, I don't think. Oh, we do. We need to go to C14. Amon-Ra's tattoo glows when he approaches you. Strange, he says. I get the sense that Katandur is with you, but you are not Dracul. I wonder if he's somehow blessed you, or else you're carrying his curse. If you have the keyword Grasslink, we do because we just acquired it. Suddenly, the Grasslink pet slips out of your satchel. Almost as soon as it hits the ground, the creature starts to reproduce. The assembled gladiators attack the little green ball of fur as they spread through the training arena. But the gladiators can kill them fast enough. Soon, a troop of Colosseum guards burst into the room and joins the fight. Eventually, they are able to clear the training arena of the pests, and the guards begin the slow, tedious work of sweeping up the green corpses. Erase the keyword Grassling. If you have the title Champion of the Colosseum or the keyword Defeated, we do not. If there are at least 3 XP on the arena track, you may challenge Goshrak. Let's not challenge her yet. If your Dracul favor is your highest favor, it's not. We can use an item rest or move to another location. Let's use the color, even though it might hurt us again. The instant you touch your control color, it projects a stream of light into the training arena, and a ghostly image of the Immortal Knight appears. When Amon-Ra sees this, he scoffs. The Immortal Knight was defeated in the Colosseum by my great ancestor Katandur, he explains. At least that is what is said in the stories of my people. Katandur was the greatest kobold warrior to ever live. No human was ever his equal. He glares at the image of the Immortal Knight for a moment. You suspect that Armaud might challenge him to a fight, but instead he turns away in disgust. We can rest or move to another location. Let's go back to the arena and do another challenge. And this time we have a 5. There are 4 tokens, which means we will do the Goblin Gunslinger. A goblin steps forward into the arena. He pulls 2 metal objects from his belt and points them towards the sky. They explode like miniature cannons. Then he walks forward and tosses one of the objects at your feet. He slides the other back into his belt. As he walks back a dozen paces or so, he places his hands at his side. Turning, he stares at you, waiting for you to make your first move before drawing his weapon to fire. You study the metal object he gave you, but you're not quite sure how it works. We can attack with your own weapons, which is a fight, or we can use the strange metal object, an intelligence and wisdom check. Well, as you know, we're not good at intelligence and wisdom. Let's attack with our own weapons. You charge forward, but you're barely taken a step before the goblin has fired his miniature cannon. Each player add 4 stamina to your fatigue box from the supply. Let's return 1 and add a 5. We have a combat with a ranged, unruly goblin. For the unrolling, after rolling the dice pool, return all dice with the values 5 and 6 from the dice pool to the dice pack. Ooh, this is not good since we need 5 and 6s. At the start of this skill check or the first round of combat, each player rolls a die and adds stamina to their fatigue box equal to the result. Well, let's start with the ranged one. And we add another 5. This is gonna be a painful fight. And let's draw the 7 dice randomly since we have taken so much damage already. Or maybe, well, we will need to return the 5 and the 6s, which means we will need to play more cards. Let's add 1 red, 1 green, and 1 white. and then the remaining 4 randomly. We need to return all dice with a value 5 and 6, which is these two. And let's see what we can do. Well, we can easily play grapple to increase or decrease a die of our class color by 1 or 2, and increase the 4 red into a 5 red. We can use the onyx cube to turn any color into a 5, and let's turn the white into a 5. And the jade gauntlet to turn any color into a 6, and turn the green into a 6. With this, we completed the combat. We have taken a lot of damage. Let's return the dice. We get 2 XP. Despite the opponent's superior firepower, your attack is successful. The goblin's body slumps down and begins to dissolve in the black ash of the arena. Place an XP cube on the arena track from the supply. And then we can go to storybook A2. If you have the title Free Gladiator, we do not. The crowd quiets down as the Grandmaster's booming voice fills the arena. We have watched your progress with great interest, says the Grandmaster, her voice echoing, and you have not failed to entertain us. Perhaps you would be willing to join me in my private viewing area. I have some guests who are very eager to meet you. Reveal discovery card 43 and place an XP on it. It's another location, circle and 1. It will go here. If your entire party is exhausted, it's not. We can roll for another encounter or move to another location. Let's move back to the training arena to challenge the champion. We don't have the title champion. We don't have the keyword defeated. We don't have the title Gasharak's challenge. There's no XP at this location. You enter a small indoor arena. The Cobalt warrior Armundra is here training with Gasharak, champion of the Colosseum of Ashes. You notice that Armundra has a small tattoo of a battle horn on his neck. If there are at least 3 XP on the arena track, you may challenge Gasharak. Let's do that. Gasharak smiles wide and her entire neck puffs up like a balloon. Excellent, she says. Meet me in the arena. When she exits through the iron gates, you hear an enormous roar from the crowd. It seems the champion is well loved. Armundra, the Cobalt warrior, stares at you and shakes his head. I hope you know what you're doing, he says. The other gladiators stare at you with a mixture of astonishment and pity. It is clear that they do not think you will survive Gasharak's challenge. Record the keyword challenger. We can use an item rest or move to another location. Let's rest. Let's spend 3 XP for 3 dice and roll them. To return 14. 9, actually. So let's return 10 and put another 1 back. Let's fill the attribute rows. Get 3 here, 1 here, 1. And return the spent cards. And our class ability. Let's go to the new area, the private viewing area. If there's no XP at this location, there is, otherwise collect the XP. A gate opens and several guards allow you to ascend a wide set of marble stairs that lead high above the arena. At the top of the stairs, you enter a room made of glass. A wide balcony faces the arena. There are intricately carved wooden seats lined with plump red cushions and tables filled with colorful fruit, cheeses, and breads in 100 varieties. A few rich patrons gasp simultaneously with delight and fear when they see you. The Grandmaster simply nods appreciatively. My guest and I were impressed by your performance, she says. Respond with wit and charm, constitution and charisma skill check, and respond with outrage over your imprisonment, strength and intelligence check. I think we should respond with outrage over our imprisonment. You flip over one of the tables, sending fruit flying into the air, and charge at the Grandmaster with your weapons drawn. Your collar immediately lights up, sending a surge of pain through your body. You fall to your knees and grasp at your neck. A feisty one, the Grandmaster says, and her guests laugh. I'll make you a deal. If you can stand the pain for 60 seconds, I'll give you a reward. You can already feel yourself starting to pass out. We have a skill check of resistance. And as we know, it's going to be a level 2 skill check. Let's spend 1 strength and 1 intelligence, which should have 3 stamina there, for a red and a blue die. And the remaining 4, because the die limit is 6, randomly. And let's see what we have. Let's start with the Jade Gauntlet to turn any color into a 6. And make this blue 6. We can increase or decrease a die of our class color by 1. And let's make this one into a 6. We can use Weak to turn any color into a red. We can use the Ancestral Blade for the 4th card to turn a blue down by 1 into a 3. And we only need a white or a purple one. And we can do that by playing the 5th card with the bonus play limit and turning the 1 into white. I also noticed that during the rest I forgot to add the stamina to the rest track. We completed the challenge. We take the discarded cards. We return the dice. And we get 2 XP. The pain is excruciating, but you manage to smile, never breaking eye contact with the Grandmaster, who seems sufficiently impressed. The color cools and its light fades, but it takes longer for your suffering to subside. Amazing, the Grandmaster exclaims. I sent enough pain coursing through your body to kill an army. Here, as promised, your reward. She hands you a small glass dagger. The Grandmaster and her guests return to their discussion, ignoring you. The Grandmaster's back is towards her desk, where she's left some papers. Reveal rare card 8. A glass dagger for manipulating the black dice. If you have the keyword poster, no, letter no, request no. If you have the keyword phrase, you can unlock the chest on the Grandmaster's desk. Let's do that. While the Grandmaster and her patrons are distracted by the games, you approach her desk and utter the phrase taught to you by Alistair, Okbu Dorek. A small chest on top of the desk pops open in response. You find that it contains a ledger with information about all the contests and performers of the Colosseum. Let's read our own entry. You find a remarkable image of you that bears your exact likeness. Other than that, there is a very short entry. Gladiator from Ulos. Personality unknown. Threat level low. Despite clear limitations, has shown surprising success in the arena. We can read Goshrak's entry, Great Kalso's entry, Alizar's entry. Let's go in order and read Goshrak's entry. If you have the title Champion of the Colosseum, no. You find the entry for Goshrak, free gladiator and current champion of the Colosseum of Ashes. Multiple reports of violence against each gladiator outside the arena. Supervision recommended at all times. Medical records indicate a previous injury that continues to be the source of significant discomfort. Although the outer wound has healed, a steel fragment from a sword was left inside of her chest. Repeated blows in this area are likely to cause considerable damage. If you do not already have the title Goshrak's Weakness, reveal title card 105, which is Goshrak's Weakness. We can read our own entry and the others. Let's read the Great Kalso's entry. You find and read the entry for the Great Kalso, human entertainer from Ulos, former court jester and known agent of King Taron from the Kingdom of Nalos. His performances continue to attract large crowds. With an artistic disposition, Kalso requires constant flattering and reassurance. If he refuses to perform, Colosseum administrator should attempt to appeal to his oversized ego before doling out punishment. When a performance fails to meet his expectations, he is in danger to himself and others. Let's read Alizar's entry. You discover Alizar's entry. Brother to Sylvian, former champion of the Colosseum of Ashes and current Grandmaster of Games. Protected status. Under no circumstances is Alizar allowed to be killed in combat. Every precaution should also be taken to protect him from the other gladiators while outside the arena. Though less skilled than his sister, he shows promise as a gladiator and is likely to earn his own freedom fairly through combat. Should the need arise, however, assistance shall be provided. We can use item rest or move to another location. Let's use our color. You place your hand on your control color and it immediately comes to life. An image of the immortal knight is projected into the Grandmaster Private's viewing area. To your surprise, he immediately charges towards the Grandmaster and swings his sword. She dodges artfully, but casts a sharp look in your direction. Turn off, she shouts. When she does, your control color activates and a surge of pain floods through your body. I said turn off, she shouts again. Your control color seems to shut down. The image of the immortal knight flickers and then disappears. My idiot engineers were supposed to have that fixed, she explains. I fought against someone calling themselves the immortal knight in the arena. We were not friends. I suppose that's putting it mildly. Some of that animosity must have made its way into the colors programming. Each player added 3 stamina to the fatigue box from the supply. Let's return 2 and add a 5. If your entire party is exhausted, it's not, we can rest or move to another location. I think we will only have to fight the champion. Let's move to the arena and see what we can do there. If you have the keyword challenger, we do. You step forward into the arena. Gash Orak, the audience chants. Gasharak charges forward and leaps into the air, landing at the center of the arena and kicking up a great storm of black ash. For this, the spectators scramble to their feet and cheer. If you have the title Gasharak's Weakness, we do. Gasharak's smile. Get ready, she says. This is going to hurt. You see her briefly wince and clutch at her side just beneath the ribcage. An old wound appears to be bothering her. If you focused on that weak spot, you could cause her a lot of pain. We have a combat with a weakened Gasharak. The weakened modifier says that skill cards do not count against the play limit. I think we only have 1 skill card because all of them have been taken from us. The combat dice limit is 7. Let's just draw the 7 and see what we have. We have absolutely nothing. Let's start with the longbow to increase a green die by 1 into a 2 and place it here because it will do 3 damage to us. Let's use the onyx cube for the second play to turn any color into a 5 and turn this red into a 5. The third one we can use friendly to turn any 2 into any color and turn the black into a blue. For the fourth play, the ancestral blade to turn the blue into a 5 by increasing it by 1. And with a bonus play token, we can play foolish to turn the blue into a white. With this, we are done for the first combat round. We take 2, 3, 4 damage. Let's return 1 and add another 5. We have 10, 15, 16, 17 out of 29. We go to the next round. Let's spend 1 constitution and 1 strength for 1 green and 1 red die. And then 5 randomly. And roll them. We're looking for low numbers. We can place the 3, and we only need a 2. Maybe not place it yet and do things differently. Let's decrease a red die by 2 into a 3 and place this one. And then with the longsword we can decrease the 3 into a 2. We have completed the challenge. Let's return the discarded cards and the dice. We get 2 gold and 3 XP. Gasharak falls to the floor of the arena, her face bloodied and bruised. She glances up at you, not with fear, but with disbelief. The Grandmaster voice fills the Colosseum. "We have a new champion," she calls, and the crowd roars with both joy and pain. Some celebrate your victory, while the rest mourn the fall of their favorite champion. But Gasharak rises from the ashes, and the Colosseum is immediately silent. As a free gladiator, Gasharak announces, "I demand the rights of release." The crowd holds its breath as the Grandmaster considers this request. "We will return you to your world," the Grandmaster voice booms across the Colosseum. "You have served us well." "Not to my own plane," Gasharak calls. "Wherever the champion goes, I follow. Send me to Ulos." The Grandmaster agrees to these terms. She opens a portal to the oceans east of Nalos and allows Gasharak to enter. Before passing through the rift, Gasharak turns towards you and smiles. "I hope in your world," she says, "there are more like you. I look forward to the challenge." Erase the keyword challenger. Record the keyword victorious. Reveal title card 104, which is Champion of the Colosseum. If you have the title Gasharak's Challenge, return it to the title deck. No. Place an XP on the arena track from the supply. This we have 6. Reveal Discovery 35 and place an XP on it. I think we already know this is 43. It's the Champion's Quarter, circle and 2, which will be here. If there are now 6 tokens on the arena track, there is. Your collar flickers to life and projects an image of the Grandmaster before you. "Our new champion," she cries, her voice booming through the arena. The audience screams and cheers, ecstatic about your victory. "This run has come to an end," the Grandmaster says, "but your journey as our champion has just begun. You must return soon and defend your title against challenges from across Planarverse." Again, the crowd bursts into celebratory cheers. Your victory marks a new era for the Colosseum of Ashes, one in which the champion hails from Ulos. The Grandmaster speaks directly to you. "Our champions always enjoy the best accommodations. I think you will find them pleasant enough. If you do not have the title Free Gladiator, reveal title card 103, which is Free Gladiator. Now that you have become the champion of the Colosseum of Ashes, you may return to location A at any time to end your adventure. Move your party marker to location F and then read entry F. If there's no XP, there is. Otherwise, collect the XP. There is a bed with pure white sheets and a feather pillows here. A jug of water sits atop an end table, and flowers sent from fans cover an ornate wooden dresser in the corner of the room. You read the attached notes and find that nearly all of them are meant for Gasharak. The others are intended for you. A porcelain tub has been filled with warm water. You take off your clothes and slip in, feeling immediate relief. Each player returns 6 stamina from your fatigue box to the supply. One of the walls is covered with old posters advertising events at the Colosseum. Some are artistic renderings of former champions, including Gasharak, the Kobold warrior Katandur, and several different gladiators going by the name the Immortal Knight. If you have the keyword eyeball, no. If you have the keyword gremlins, no. You notice a large wooden chest with a brass lock. The lock, as far as you can tell, has no place where a key might be inserted, but it is engraved with the symbol of an eye. If your starlit door favor is your highest favor, it is not. Use an item, rest, or move to another location. Let's use the color. You tap your control color with your hand, and a stream of light along with an image of the Immortal Knight are projected into the champion's quarters. Focusing on a poster depicting his own image that has been pasted to the wall, the Immortal Knight attempts to peel it back. He seems surprised when his hand simply passes through the wall. Following his lead, you carefully peel back the poster by its corner edge until it has been torn from the wall, revealing a second poster underneath. The concealed poster depicts a gladiator wearing a metal claw for a hand, and you recognize the fighter as the Grandmaster of Games. A troll towers over her in the picture, but there is a bright red slash cut across his chest from her attack. The headline reads, Sylvian, the Claw, undefeated champion of the Colosseum of Ashes. The poster easily peels off the wall and falls into your hand. Record the keyword poster. We can rest or move to another location. Let's move to the private viewing area. Maybe we can ask her about the poster. If you have the keyword poster, you hand the Grandmaster the poster you found in the champion's quarters that reads, The Claw, undefeatable champion. She looks at the poster over and smiles. That was a long time ago, she says. I have no interest in returning to the arena, but that doesn't mean that a claw can't live again. She opens a locked drawer in her desk. Here, she says, bring this to my brother Alizar. You will find him in the gladiator dorms. She turns her back and rejoins her guests. Erase the keyword poster and record the keyword claw. Reveal rare card 19, which is a weapon. Let's go to the dormitory and return the claw. Alizar's sister, the Grandmaster of Games, entrusted you with her claw. She requests that you deliver it to Alizar so that he could continue her legacy in the arena. We can give him the claw or keep it for ourselves. We have ways of dealing with green. Let's give him the claw. You show Alizar the claw. He recognizes it immediately and is amazed when he learns that his sister instructed you to deliver it. This is the weapon that made her famous, he explains. She's always refused to help me. I thought she didn't care. Perhaps I misjudged her. As a way of expressing his thanks, Alizar offers to help you train. Return rare card 19 to the rare deck. Gain one of the skill cards from the market at no cost and add it to one player's hand, which is going to be only diplomacy. And then we erase the keyword claw. I think with this we have finished everything that we need to do. Let's go back to the arena and see if this takes us to the end. If there are 6 tokens, there are. If you have the keyword victorious, no. If you have the title free gladiator, we do. If there are 6 XP on the arena track, there are. Your color flickers to life and projects an image of the Grandmaster before you. A perfect run, she cries, her voice booming around the stadium. We expected nothing less from our returning heroes. Enjoy your perfect victory. The audience cheers and chants your name. Some throw flowers and coins onto the ash at your feet. Gain 4 gold. And And we can now continue to the end, which we will do. The Grandmaster image fades and the collar falls from your neck and slips into the ashes. A rift opens in the arena. On the other side, you see Ulos exactly as you left it. No time appears to have passed there during your absence. We have the title Free Gladiator. You have fought your way through 6 of the Grandmaster's challenges. Now, finally free from your collar, you feel yourself again. You wave farewell to the crowd and they cheer. Some are likely just happy to see you go. Return any cards under the control color to their owner's hand. And return Discovery Card 80 to the Discovery Card deck. Let's see what other we have. We have Champion of the Colosseum and Gasharak's Weakness. The crowd begins chanting your name. They appear distraught to be losing their champion. A few hoist up an enormous banner that bears your likeness. It appears you will be leaving behind a number of devoted fans. Gasharak's Weakness. You learn that Gasharak has a shard of a sword still embedded in her abdomen from a previous battle. The injury continues to cause her pain. This information could be useful if you ever do run into Gasharak again. Remember to take some ash with you, calls the Grandmaster's voice. When you wish to return, simply run your fingers through it and remember your time here. That will be enough to bring you back to our games. You put a handful of ash into your pocket and walk through the crackling rift to Ulos. You pass through the rift and are blinded by a sudden flash of light. You find yourself exactly where you were before the rift took you. Not a single moment has passed. Time is frozen still. When the rift snaps shut, the world returns to its normal rhythms. Your life continues. It's as if you have never left at all. At the end, we can go shopping and upgrade our character. Let's see what we have for cards. We have Trustworthy, a Warhammer, Concentrate, Enchant, and a Ring of Charity. We have 9 gold to spend. Let's use 6 to buy the Warhammer. And this will be the only thing that we can afford. Which means we will have 3 gold for the next adventure. And for the XP, we have 1519. Let's increase our bonus play limit, which is 5 XP plus the play limit plus the current bonus play limit. This means 5, 9, 11. 10, 5, 11. This will raise our bonus play limit to 3. And we still have 8. Let's spend it on 2 attribute scores. Each costs 4 and the score limit is 6. And let's get 1 dex and 1 charisma. Both of them will be 3. And with this, the side quest Deathmatch at the Colosseum of Ashes has been completed. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. I hope you enjoyed this playthrough. Have a nice day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.